I was on the plane the other day with Foreigner and Journey, and don't stop believing. And it's funny because whenever I'm on the plane, somebody asks me, "What do you do?" And depending on what kind of mood I'm in, I'll either tell them I'm a public speaker and I speak inspirational, motivational, or I'll just give them a 2-hour flight and I'll say, guess. And I just let them guess for 2 hours because no one has ever guessed a pastor. No one. And just depending, I just like to have fun. Depends on what kind of mood I'm in. So I was sitting across from one of the guys and he said, "What do you do?" I said, I pastor. I pastor one of the greatest churches in them. And he just opened up, started telling me his whole life story. And I mean, I just started actually prophesying to him and giving him the word of the Lord and speaking to him and declaring what God had to say. But the point of it is this, is that how people, when I say that, people kind of look at me like, because they have these stereotypes in their mind that they think we're all whacked. And we're not. They think we are often ignorant. We're not.
A Bay Area pastor whose marriage and ministry has made national news over the last few years is now getting some unwanted attention by a celebrity tell-all publication. Here's Tampa Tribune reporter Michelle Bearden with more.
Now Paula White is a subject of tabloid fodder, featured in this week's National Enquirer. A story and photo link her with the married but separated Benny Hinn, a fellow televangelist. Paula White said she and Hinn are just longtime friends and that she is giving him spiritual encouragement, given her own experience with a public and painful divorce. Both he and White acknowledged that they were in Rome on Vatican business and were in the constant company of staff and family members.
So I went through some relationships, and I didn't have Pastor Paula to learn about foundation. So my relationships were kind of built on building, you know, and I never bothered to check on the foundation. So they crumbled, and they didn't last. And I stayed with it, and it's absolutely true that without a really solid foundation in love, in understanding, and union, and true union, it can't last. It's just going to fall apart, no matter how much you pray about it, you know, how hard you try. And so I felt tied up. I had a family, and I just asked for, you know, some wisdom in which way to go. And so I was kind of unhappy in the last relationship I was in, and had 3 beautiful children, a beautiful house, beautiful career. But the one thing I was missing the most was having my heart heard, having my heart understood. And there was this plane flight that I ended up on Southwest, and I met this fabulous woman, and we started talking about life and love and spirituality, and she touched me. She touched me and resonated something deep inside, something I hadn't felt in a long time. We both cried on that airplane flight. We shed tears. She told me her story about her father, and I shared my story about being in a school fire and watching 100 children die in 1958, December 1st. And how that music saved me, and my spirituality led me, and my father led me, you know, to where I am in Journey today. And it was his love, his unconditional love, that carried me through all my hardships, all my heartbreaks. And he promised me that God still loved me. And I felt like a failure when I had 2 divorces, you know. And so you take yourself behind the barn and you say, why did you do that? Why did you get caught up in that? You know, it's not about the whys. It just, that's life, that's love, you know. Some of us have to pay the love tax, that's what I say. So divorce is ugly, it's horrible. I went through 2 of them. I wouldn't recommend it for any of you here. But your heart needs what it needs. And if you want to rise and you want to soar, then you have to take a chance. And you have to be brave enough to walk away and say, I need better than this. And I found it right here. It's the love of my life.
I'm speechless. Working.
A lot of us are afraid to change. And the biggest that's the biggest hurdle is I can't see myself doing that. Well, then that thing's just going to stay there. I was in a bad marriage, and for years I just stayed there, and it was circling around me, the same old stuff, flying at me, hitting me on the head, bang, bang. What are you going to do? And it was time for me to shift, to change, and I had to, just tell my ex-wife that I didn't love her anymore. That was hard. I was afraid to do that. I was afraid to change and to they all had my kids. I mean, my gosh, how am I going to tell my kids I don't love their own mother? But I had to do it. There was a massive change in me, and I praise the Lord for it. It was the best thing I could have done in my life. Because I'm living a lie. I'm pretending that I love somebody. My kids, it's not fair to anybody. Me, anybody in my family. So that was a massive change. And then I had to move out. I had to disconnect myself from all of it. It was very difficult. But I was never afraid, because I knew the Lord had his hand on my shoulder, and he said, this is what I have for you. And I think through prayer, and you will find how to change. I listened, and I received the word from God that it was time. You know what I mean? So that'll come to you if you just pray on it.
God's saying, and yeah, that's the easy way. When you get mad at your husband and things aren't working out and you hit a rough season, you don't just say, see you later, alligator, and go your way. You are in a covenant. You work through it. Come on, I've got a good word for somebody tonight.
I never recommend leaving a relationship. Never. Because let me tell everyone something. I am the biggest advocate for family, even though I've gone through a divorce. The biggest. When it says God hates divorce, is not actually divorce, it's the putting away of a wife. He hates abandonment. But the last thing you want to do, especially if there are children involved, is just walk away. We're going to be one big happy family. Wait till we get to your sex life. We're just starting right now. Till I realize the kids are in here. Praise the Lord. Thank you, Pastor Doug.
Well,
Amen.
I think, too, women have to, or don't have to, but women should look at a man and find out what turns him on. I mean, and you can talk about this. This is something that, how freaky do you want to get? You know what I mean? And if you don't have that conversation with your man,
my husband.
if you don't have that conversation, then, you're not fulfilling everything that he really truly wants. And so this part, the sexual fulfillment, comes with deep study within each other. You have to look inside and say, what turns you on? What is it that you like to do? And if you don't have that conversation, it's going to be broken sometime. And the other part of it is, ladies, if you don't know what he likes, figure it out. Get a book. Go get some porn. Do something. Whatever. If he likes to watch porn with him. You know what I mean? It's like, you got to get where you're going to go. Figure it out.
Sonia fell on the floor. Now, here's the thing, guys. I'm going to clear some stuff up because I know the church world.
John and I don't watch porn. We have never watched porn together.
I stay in my own lane.
Okay, we don't. He doesn't watch porn without me, because y'all are like that. And I'm gonna clear up, because I know y'all just like breaking out. And we're not advocates of saying go outside, but what he's saying is educate yourself on sexuality. That's what he's saying. He's not saying get addicted to porn. He's saying educate yourself. If you're gonna sit there and say we don't know what to do, get educated.
That's right. They got tapes out now. They have tapes for couples. So you can watch them.
Amen. He's like, go ahead, baby. He's like, please go ahead. We got them all stirred up now. So, but sincerely, so what he's saying is this. Now, I'm going to stay here for just 1 second, then we're going to go to the third point. What he's really saying is this: to be educated within your marriage. And that is very important. It's not as an advocate to ever say go outside, because it's a holy covenant. But what he's saying is you've got to know, not as a stimulant or something, but he's saying what you've got to know is how to take care of each other in a physical way. You got it? We good with this?
And let me talk to the women. Watch. You can get traded in when you're 40 for 220s. If he did it before, don't think he won't do it again. That's why I'm telling you very closely, pay attention to character. A person will tell you who they are. Believe them. Believe them. If they did it to one, if he doesn't take care of his last family, you think he's going to take care of the next family?
So I think about it like this. It's like a rose garden, you know? And I had this beautiful rose garden I took care of for about 3 years. And a relationship is the same thing. It takes nurturing, it takes work, it takes pruning, it takes fertilizing. You got to pull the weeds out. And your bloom in the spring is a thing of glory. It's a thing from God. And without that work, that tender care, and my father's two favorite words were, or his best phrase for me was, pay attention. And so as men, we have to look at our partner and notice, pray to God to open our eyes so we're able to see and have a vision for what might be, you know, the thing our partner needs at that very time. And there's a time and place for everything. But I feel that affection comes with paying attention and noticing and recognizing if it's working. So you just don't give her some little kiss and that didn't mean anything. She wants a real kiss, so give her a real kiss. Take time out and kiss your woman.
Oh, yeah.
I thank my daddy for all that.
So do I.
But God doesn't put you in a mess. The devil does. You know, don't ask God to bless that mess. Here's the problem, guys. God didn't join together most of the things that are together. So I quoted this little something: wrong is wrong if everyone's doing it, and right is right if no one's doing it. So let's stand up for righteous marriages, and righteous marriages go, hey, what's our roadmap? The Bible. There's a winner right there. The Bible's our roadmap for what a marriage should be.